Hello everyone and welcome to episode 20 of Daily Flip. Glad to have you here. We actually had a technical malfunction just a few minutes ago. We actually shot this entire episode, did the live drawing for the Amazon gift card and everything, and then found out that our sound was slightly unplugged, our cable. So this is take two, but it's going to be all the same information. We actually did the drawing and we had a lot of entries this time. Don Poppy, your name was drawn. If you were watching on Facebook Live, which is where this was posted before, you probably already saw that. But Don Poppy, you won today. For those of you that would like to win tomorrow, I'm actually going to put this back inside. We used a different container today. I'm going to take this here, drop it back in there, and then we're going to actually put these entries, all the ones from today, we're going to put them in with yesterday's entries because we have the bigger drawing for the actual $25 Amazon gift card coming on Friday. Don won a $5 Amazon gift card, as did Scott from the UK yesterday. So I sent Scott's gift card out last night. Don, I'll get with you, or if you're seeing this, get with me. I just need an email address from you, so I'll message you on Facebook and get that so we can get that Amazon gift card. It'll be an e-gift card that'll be coming your way. If you want to be entered for tomorrow's, today being Wednesday, tomorrow being Thursday, just go to the CarFlip Facebook page. There you're going to see episode 20. It should be at the top of the page because it'll be the most recent episode. If you like it, that's one entry. If you comment anything, that's two. I'm sorry, one entry for the like, one for the comment, which is a total of two. And then you can get an extra 3 entries for sharing the video. So that could be a total of 5 entries. All of those will go towards tomorrow's drawing for a $5 Amazon gift card, which in turn will be added to the Friday's drawing for a $25 Amazon gift card. So good luck to all of you. Get your entries in for tomorrow, and then I'll be putting everyone else's entries in for the Friday $25 Amazon gift card. Other than that, we've got a few things we're going to go over. I had a question inside, I believe, of the YouTube comments about whether or not I use CarFaxes. What are my thoughts on CarFaxes? Should you be running CarFaxes? And the answer for me is sometimes. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. If I'm buying at auction, it's not as big a concern for me because at least at the dealer auctions that I go to, it has to be disclosed if a vehicle is salvaged, if it's been a flood vehicle, recovered theft, those type of things, which would be on the front of a title. For example, let me grab a title out of my stack here. This is a 1999 Jeep Wrangler. And this is what the title looks like. This is a North Carolina title right there. If this, I'm gonna try to figure, if this was a salvage title, here is a box entitled Title Brands. There would have to be something there. It would have to say salvage, recovered theft, rebuilt. It would be right there. So if I go to look at a vehicle on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, someone has it advertised for sale, I go to buy it. When I look at the title, that's the first place my eyes go, is right there. Also, you want to make sure the VIN numbers match, so make sure they actually have the title for the vehicle that you're looking at. You know, very rare that you'd have that issue, but make sure someone's not trying to get over on you and giving you the wrong title. Otherwise, if they have the title in their hands, that's a pretty good, I guess a pretty good reason to believe that they've paid it off, that there's not a lien on it. Right here on a North Carolina title, you've got where it says first lien holder, right where my finger is, and I'm trying to do this all and hold the camera off. Where my pinky is, right there. First lien holder. If there was a lien, they would be listed there. If a lien has been paid off, there will be something listed there. Then across on the other side, if you just look straight across, it would say lien released by. There'd be the signature of somebody and a date of when the lien was paid off. So that is what you want to be concerned with when it comes to titles, making sure they're not salvaged. Now, if you do decide to go the route of buying a CarFax, you can use CarFax.com. There's another site called AutoFax, which is a very reputable site. One that I've been using recently is called autofax.org. It pulls from the same database as far as I can tell. I've not had many variances to where anything of any importance was left out. Just for example, this is one that I pulled for a 2005 Jeep Wrangler, just to have an example for you. These are like $8, $8.99 or something, as opposed to the $20.25 CarFax is going to charge you. There are some people in our Facebook group, the CarFlip Facebook group, that'll do it for $5 if I'm not mistaken, so you might want to check that out. But this one shows that there were 2 accidents, and I'm reading off the front of this. I'm going to throw these copies down. It gives me the dates of when those accidents occurred. So if you look right there in the middle, one of them occurred in 2005, the other occurred in 2009. It says one was in Tennessee, one was in Rocky Mount. Then lets me know that there's no records of any kind of salvage, flood, that type of history. The next page that can be and is important, but if you have doubts of the mileage, if the mileage is lining up with what it actually says on the odometer, this is a report of the reported mileage. I guess the odometer readings over the years. This one started out at 37, went to 9, 14, 31, and I'm skipping some, but it ends up at 52. If you were to see it go to 47 and then it skips down to 13,000 and then adds from there, you would know someone has altered the odometer. This is not the case. Now this was reported, the last report was 2012. So from 2012 on, it's got 120,000 miles now. There's nothing after that that's very helpful for me. It shows that there have been 4 owners, which is useless for me. Some people like to see the lower owners. They ask you how many owners. You know, it's one of those things. It's really a non-factor. It's a machine, so I don't really care about that. This is the detailed printout of everywhere it's been. So it started out in North Carolina, went to Tennessee, back to North Carolina, back to Tennessee, and then back to North Carolina. In the state of North Carolina through 2015, which is, I bought it from a guy in North Carolina. Off of Facebook Marketplace, which is where I saw it. So there's nothing up here that would, you know, be any cause for alarm for me. The accidents might scare some people, but as long as you can reasonably explain them, there's actually a dent on the front of this fender. It's pretty easy to see that's where that was bumped. And the other, I'm not 100% sure, but it was done like a month or 2 after someone would have purchased it. So whatever it was, they took care of. The other question that we had come through, actually not as much of a question, but inside of our Facebook group, there was a discussion going on, and someone asked, they're in Texas, they're allowed to sell 5 cars per year if they're registering them in their name before they would have to put them in someone else's name if they didn't want to do an open title. Their question was, if they have an LLC, if they have a business that has an LLC, could they sell 5 more through their actual LLC or the business name along with their personal name? And someone in the group, I think it was John, chimed in and said he was going to ask somebody that he knew that was high up in the, I believe, DMV or tag office or something. So he went and asked them and came back that he said that they did verify that if you sell 5 in your name, you're also allowed to sell 5 in the business's name. So we're going to, I don't know, call that the Texas loophole. So there is a loophole there that you could sell 5 in your name, 5 in an LLC or your business's name. So I would assume that that translates across state lines. So say here in North Carolina, you're allowed to sell 5. That will be 5 more in your business's name. So I have not heard or know of anybody specifically that has done that. So if you do, I'd love to know how that works out for you. Otherwise, there's always the open title route, which if you know anyone that's buying and selling cars that's doing more than the state max, without a dealer's license, that's the only way that you can get around that. So that's definitely an option for a lot of people there. Otherwise, I'm gonna show you a couple cars outside that I've been fiddling with today. We've been also working towards getting our podcast recorded. We would have had an episode actually recorded today with an intro recording, but I've not been feeling very good. Actually right now, like, I feel like I'm about to have snot over my face, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But my voice this morning was very like raspy, so we didn't do any recording today, but we've got this set up. This will actually be more over here because there will be a video portion of that, so we will have that on YouTube, but it'll also be available via podcast, via like the Apple podcast app, so you can listen to that show without having to actually sit in front of a phone or computer like you're doing right now. So for some people, I know that's way more convenient. For me, I listen to a ton of podcasts using these 2 little, I guess you call them earbuds or whatever they are. So it fits in like so. So I can be listening to a business podcast, or I can be reading a book, an audiobook, using this right here. So that is that. Otherwise, I'm going to be walking outside showing you these cars. One is a 98 Mercury Mountaineer. The other is a 2006 Mountaineer. Actually show them to you right here. As you see, we have the hood up on this one. Right here, we are going to be putting a battery in here tomorrow. The battery is right there. For me, pretty much all the time, I'm using the Interstate batteries. I can buy them for $35 if you're set up as a garage or a car dealership. In here, at least in Raleigh, they sell them for 35 bucks. So we're also putting a window motor and regulator assembly. That's what this is right there, that you can see that metal. Further inside, I can't show it with the camera, behind there is the actual motor, so it bolts here. And so it comes through, bolts to this door frame. It kind of works like a scissor motion. The motor turns this scissor allows it to move it up. We have the window held up right now with these little wedges. Our only other issue on this one is a air door that switches it from hot to cold. It's pretty common on these Mountaineers, same vehicle as an Explorer. The Ford Rangers have a similar setup. The air door actually, I mean, it breaks inside the air box. That's like a 7 to 9 hour fix. You're talking over $1,000 if you go to the Ford dealership, or because there aren't any Mercury dealerships anymore. So we're going to be getting by that with a, I guess you'd call it I don't know what you call it. It's going to be a makeshift way for someone to change it from AC to heat. AC works great, heat works great. Just a matter of that air door having to be actuated, so it'll have to be done manually from inside the actual air box area, which is where the glove box is. So we'll be taking care of that tomorrow. This one should be close to being ready. This one's nothing special for sure, but it's a good $2,000 vehicle. For somebody during tax time, it should sell pretty quick. This is a 2006. We've got a little cleaning to do on our steering wheel. Worst case, if that doesn't clean off, if I can zoom in, right here and then up here. Sometimes a magic eraser will do wonders on this. Worst case, we're going to put a steering wheel cover on that. Our main concern right now, which is what my cameraman slash computer guy slash master of awesomeness, Richard Yannick, did today. He's usually the guy holding the camera if I'm walking around in front of it. He drove to, where was it? It was in, I forget the name of the town, Axton, Virginia. So from Raleigh to Axton was like 2 hours. He drove up there to get this, which is a rear seat. As you can see, there is no rear seat here. This is the old rear seat. Our problem was, down at the bottom here, the lighting's gonna be horrible, but way down here at the bottom, these are motors. It was, I guess, somewhat rare that they had the power seats inside of the Mountaineers. You can see the controls here. A lot of the Expeditions had these, the fold. The buttons would have been over here on the Expedition, but allows you to fold and put them up and down the rear seats using these buttons. So the only reason I say it must have been rare is because it was really hard to find them in an actual junkyard. There were plenty of the manual fold. This one was not so easy, which is why we had to drive 2 hours away to pick them up. I could have bought a motor, which is, if I can fold this over so we can see the assembly. This motor sits inside of an assembly. So this is connected to this little bracket here. I could have bought that bracket for like $270 something on eBay. It's the only place I could find it, aside from the actual dealership. The problem was, I considered doing that just to make it easy on myself, but then the other side started acting up too. So basically, we had two bad assemblies. I was able to buy this setup, which is the exact same color. It needs cleaned, but this one was 150 bucks plus the gas and time of driving to Axton, Virginia. So we'll get that installed tomorrow after we vacuum. It was a little dirty under there. Nice little pencil here. So we'll clean this up tomorrow, put the new seat back in, and then we're going to be taking care of a little dent here. I think we're actually going to do a YouTube video on how to fix a bumper, a plastic bumper dent using a heat gun, which is actually right here. This will be a video we'll have on YouTube probably tomorrow, sometime this week. So we'll heat that up and what you do when it's warm. I only have one hand right now free, but basically the heat gun would be making this soft and pliable. I would then be sticking my hand up under here, and luckily there's enough access for me to get all the way up there. So I'll be pushing from this point right here on the inside, and we're gonna hope that it pops out to where it's not that noticeable. The only downside is there's like a little crease right here and right here, so there probably will be some sign that there was a dent there, but it'll look way better than this. So tomorrow, that's one of our goals. Otherwise, this will be ready for the front line. Our Mountaineer ahead of it, the 98, will be pretty much ready. Nothing fancy, but tax time, this type of vehicle in this type of price range should do pretty well. Otherwise, if you have entered for yesterday's drawing and today's drawing, but you didn't win, hopefully in Friday's drawing you'll be able to win that $25 Amazon gift card. If you would like to enter for tomorrow's, remember it's real simple. You're just going to go to the Facebook page, which we'll put a link down below. If you're on YouTube, you're gonna put leave a comment for one entry, like it for a second entry, and then if you share it, we're gonna enter you 3 times, so your name will be here with the rest of them. And there are some more somewhere in a separate container we have to add together from yesterday's and today's. But congrats Don for today's $5 Amazon gift card. Congrats Scott for yesterday's. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about anything that you saw in today's video, feel free to comment below. I'll come in later and fill you in on anything maybe that you aren't sure about. Otherwise, I'll see you at episode 21.